What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Giving you guys another long form content video. I did miss yesterday, not gonna lie. I was pretty busy and then I had to leave early for my pool league, so didn't get you guys a video, but we are back. Thursday is tomorrow, and that is the NBA Finals Game 1. So finally done with baseball for a little bit. Obviously, I'm still taking baseball for hits parlays and my regular straight lines and stuff for VIP. We're doing that, of course. But for our free video tomorrow, we are doing NBA. Back at basketball. Thank God. I love basketball. But regardless, we got 3 legs for you guys. We're going to be locking this in on Sleeper. Sleeper does have these 2 entry promos for you guys. If you guys aren't on Sleeper yet, go ahead and use my code IOPICKS when you download it and deposit money. It would be much appreciated if you guys could do that. But go and get your free money on both Sleeper and Chalkboard if you haven't yet. Deposit matches are deposit matches, and you can literally build your bankroll just from that. There's no reason to not take the free money, especially if you guys don't have $100, you probably shouldn't be betting anyway. But if you do, just use that, get a free $100, start to build your bankroll. It's the way to go. And then you can add on these Kyrie or Tatum lines. I'm not going to add any of that for this parlay, but regardless, tag on one of those. You can't do both of them on the same parlay, but that was weird. Anyway, does not matter. Let's get started. Let's get into these picks real quick. First one, we got Al Horford over 12.5 PR. I know I am a big Al Horford hater. I just don't like the guy at all. And I would really like to fade him. But at this point, with 12.5 PR, I think that this is a pretty sneaky play for game 1 because Kristaps. I think it's confirmed that he's coming back. I think that Kristaps is probably going to be a distraction in this game. He's not going to get full minutes. I'd be extremely surprised if he got full minutes. We are taking a little bit of a risk here because, one, it is the first game with Kristaps back, and it's the first game in the series. But I think that if he is out there, he's kind of just going to be a little bit of a distraction. I would definitely expect him to shoot a good amount from deep. He does anyway, even as a big. But he's dealing with a calf strain. So him putting up big man moves is not going to be very likely. He's a big though, so it is what it is. But I just think that he's not going to get a full plethora of playoff minutes, and so Al is going to still get. He's been averaging like over 30, I believe. Yeah, I think that we can expect Al to get in like the mid 20s or high 20s, and he's going to get production if that happens. He's shown since Kristaps has been out that he can really perform. One of the games, 37. I think I faded in that game too, which was annoying. But he's going to get a somewhat decent amount of points. But rebounds-wise, he's been in like the 5 to 8 range for a while. Let's see. Yeah. So, his line's 5.5. That makes a lot of sense. But he's been in this range for a while. So even if he gets 6, then all we need is 7 points from him, and that's really not that much. What's his points line? 6.5. Okay. I expected it actually to be a little bit higher, but yeah, I don't like it as much as the PR line just because he does get his rebounds too, and he can really go off. So if he gets 8, then we only need 5 points from him. It's not that much at all. They've lowered these lines because Kristaps is in, so I think that we're just going to kind of take a little sneaky advantage there. With him coming back and kind of being a distraction. We'll see how the series plays out. It is kind of a risky play because of that, but I still think that this is a relatively low line for Al, given his production in the playoffs. So we're going to take that over for our first one. Next, we got PJ Washington, 10-plus points. It's an alt line on Sleeper. The juice on this is actually really good. It was like 1.4x for an alt, and it's a pretty damn consistent. Not supposed to swear. It's a pretty consistent line for him. 13 out of his last 15, 9 out of his last 10. He's had a couple of games where he's only getting 10, but then he can play out of his mind, and he was playing really well in that OKC series. Dropped 29, 27, and 21. So it's a good ceiling for him. Showing that he can get almost 30 in playoffs too is good for us, but just very, very consistent for an alt line, and the juice being there at 1.4, whatever it is solid. So I like this play a lot. That's our second play. Third one, we're going Josh Green over 0.5 assists. So we tried to get a little bit tricky with the Josh line last time, and it burned us, but that was such a bad L too. he had a 3-pointer that he put up, and it was like it got called a foul initially, so he was going to go to the line for 3, and they challenged that, and so then it showed that there was like barely minimal contact or whatever, so they took that foul away, and then he didn't get any more points, so that was annoying. But he did have his 1 assist, so he cleared the line. He's cleared it in 9 out of the last 10. It's one of the more consistent lines, and the juice is actually still there for it as well. I mean, it's only minus 185. So I think it's a good way to end out the parlay. He's getting consistent minutes. He's been in like this, let's call it, I mean, he's averaging 17 because he got that 25 game. Let's call it anywhere from 15 to 18. 20 is kind of on the higher end. He's only got 2 of those games. So, I mean, just assuming that he gets around that 15, 16, 17 point or minute mark, then I'm very confident that his production will follow. I mean, he is kind of a 3-point guy, but at the end of the day, he's still dishing the ball, and he's just been very consistent with it. I mean, 12 out of his last 15 as well. It's not just these last 10. So most of the playoffs, he's been very consistent. So we're not going to try and get a little bit tricky anymore on Josh. We're going to take the cash cow, which has been his assist line, instead of the PA, which I still kind of like the PA because I like when players can just go off with points and then it cash is easy, but it's just we're going to go back to old reliable, which is just the consistent assist line. So, guys, that's what we got going on today for our parlay. Here is the final slip. We got Al Horford over 12.5 PR, PJ Washington 10+ points, and then Josh Green over 0.5 assists. That is what we got going. Yeah, 1.41x on an all is great. So that's what we got for tomorrow's lay for playoffs game 1. It's going to be interesting. I think that Dallas probably takes this, but Boston's just extremely solid, and they are deep as well. That's like mainly why they're so good, is because their bench is so deep too. They got a lot of good role players on that team, but I don't know. I think that that Luka and Kyrie is going to be very, very hard to stop, and especially they have basically all the momentum. I mean, Boston got through to the finals pretty easily, and Dallas had to fight their way there very hard. So I think they got a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, and just that backcourt is insane. Just absolutely insane. Having both playmakers like Kyrie and Luke on the same team is almost unfair, but it'll be a good matchup. So we'll see how it goes. But guys, that is what we got for tonight's video. I will see you in the next one. Peace.